Tonight on America's Hope, colleges in America are at war with each other on cultural issues. There's a division going on, anti-Semitism is rising, and there's a gender divide happening as well. What's being done about it? We'll talk to one college student, a member of Generation Z, who says she's not going to stand for America losing its soul. That starts right now on America's Hope. Good evening, I'm Kelly Wright, and this is America's Hope. And as always, as I say on this program, we hope that wherever you are, you're safe and well and taking care of yourself and your family because you matter. And what matters most to a lot of people right now when they're of college age is what's happening on their college campuses. You know, this is America's Hope, and we talk about hope taking place in sometimes the most desperate of times. And sometimes, let's face it, hope is hard to hold on to when it seems your foundation of faith is under duress and seemingly standing on shaky ground. And that's what some Americans are feeling right now with regard to the culture wars taking place on our college campuses throughout the nation. You know, let's face it, we've seen a rise in anti-Semitism on college campuses, plus pro-Palestinian protests taking place. Also, there seems to be an expanding divide over gender issues on college campuses. In fact, according to the conservative organization Campus Reform, the federal government spent $1 million of your tax-paying dollars to cut basic biology in 3 states. Campus Reform claims 3 universities received a sum total of almost $1 million as part of a federal agency's project to create more inclusive environment for transgender, non-binary, and gender non-forming students. Now, according to Campus Reform's report, the project states biology courses often inaccurately categorize sex and gender as binary. Are you confused? Well, here to help us sort it all out is a student herself. She is a Campus Reform correspondent, Emily Sturge. By the way, as I stated, Emily is a current student, and she's attending the University of Florida and studying political science and journalism. She's an active ambassador, by the way, for Turning Point USA. That's a nonprofit organization whose sole mission is to identify, educate, train, and organize students to promote freedom. What a wonderful sound, freedom. What does it sound like, though, Emily, on college campuses today when you're confronted with all these different issues?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to speak about what it's like to be a college student in such uncertain times, times when we're asked to deny basic biological facts, basic truths we're being asked to deny so that people aren't offended. Society and the federal government are denying and even eliminating basic truths, and there's no limit to what they'll ask us to deny next. With this first story, the federal agency called the National Science Foundation decided to award nearly $1 million in taxpayer funding to 3 academic institutions to erase basic scientific principles to fit the leftist transgender narrative. Now, their decision, it shows that the federal government is prioritizing pushing woke ideology over scientific accuracy, which unfortunately is just another example of the left's blatant disregard for truth and knowledge in order to promote their radical social agenda. But as a college student, this doesn't surprise me. This is exactly the type of indoctrination I see on my college campus and in my college classrooms every single day.
So when you're seeing this on your college campus and in your classrooms every single day, you're a conservative-minded individual, nothing wrong with that at all, yet do you find yourself coming under fire because of your conservative and traditional values and beliefs?
Absolutely. Conservative students like myself often face being silenced in the classroom by both our peers and our professors for our conservative beliefs. We've faced hardships such as students verbally attacking us, professors verbally attacking us, or professors giving us bad grades because they know that we are conservatives and we're effectively being punished for our beliefs. The left celebrates radicalism on college campuses and pushes leftist principles on impressionable students because they're indoctrinating the next generation of voters. This is how the left stays in power. They're indoctrinating students through course curriculum. For example, diversity, equity, and inclusion, and LGBTQ and critical race theory. All of those things are pushed in the classroom, and that's how the left is indoctrinating the next generation of voters, and that's how they're bringing voters from my generation to the polling booth.
So, Emily, it seems like what they're doing then, they're pulling your generation in by saying, hey, it's one size that fits all, but I'm looking at you clearly and I identify you as being a female, and you're looking at me and you identify me as being a male. This new study that is out there that we're paying $1 million in taxpayers' dollars, what is that study trying to show?
The study is trying to deny basic biological facts, but it's a basic fact that there's only two genders, and students are being lied to by academia. And we're being told that we need to disregard this basic truth in order to be what the left calls inclusive. As a college student, I'm enraged by the left and totally erasing basic truths. And it's unfortunate that these lies are being funded with the taxpayers from Americans. As a college student, I see the lies being spread by the left in my classroom and on my campus every single day. And I see how students, they're not being taught to think for themselves. Instead, they're being taught to believe whatever the left deems as politically correct.
You know, this kind of talk that we're having right now, this conversation between two people, when you're having this kind of conversation on college campuses with people who may disagree with you, what kind of disagreement is it? Is it visceral or is it respectful?
I don't think respect exists in political discussions on campus, college campuses anymore. And that's the underlying issue. When I talk about my conservative beliefs, it's effectively putting a target on my back for students and professors to attack me. America's universities have become sites of leftist indoctrination instead of academic institutions that educate and prepare the next generation of leaders. My generation will be leading government. They will be owning businesses before we know it. But right now, they're sitting in classrooms being indoctrinated by leftist professors who lecture woke ideology as truth. The Leadership Institute's campus reform has reported that academic ability is falling in the classrooms, and universities are lowering their educational standards. So, far left professors are lowering their standards in the classroom in order to indoctrinate students with leftist ideology. This is very harmful to our society, and it's producing a generation of college graduates who are not proficient in skills needed for the workforce, but instead they're proficient in leftist ideology like diversity, equity, and inclusion, or this woke gender nonsense.